Hello and welcome. If you are new, so please go and watch my first part of this series. So this is second part of my card component view. So let's start with the other thing which we were going to cover in the first part which we couldn't. So now this is the second part. I highly recommend if you are new, you are watching directly to this video, so go for part 1 then watch part 2. Thank you. Okay, now this card is not looking very good. It's very ugly. But what we have to do, we have to give many styling or many thing as well. But as well as we have to do as many things like we can, so that user should or the next person who are going to use our card has to be very flexible with the styling or and all. So what we can do many things with the help of this props. So let's define them. First of all, I'll create few classes. First class is card, which is containing this thing, but I'll create card and I'll say title, card title. Okay, what why I'm defining this card title like this wise? What I wanted to do that, like not class actually, card hyphen title. So whenever any title has been provided, so it should be stand out in simpler way. So how do I do that? So I should put some border in bottom over here, and then there has to be a specific font size, because as of now this card having this size of, where is the title, this one. Okay, so title mean, okay, now I should give the title from here as well. So if I give provide here title something like this, if I say so h4 and I say main title with h4, so now the title has changed. Okay, but we can provide both the thing. I can provide HTML over here as well as, because it is accepting as it is, and it's got h1. So that's the problem over here. What we have to do, we have to use as it is. We should not wrap with this h1. If you see the inspection of this one, so it is got two things. If you see here, let's make it bigger size. If you see, it is got containing h1 as well as h2 h4 actually. So this is not right. So what we can do, we can make it right with the help of removing this one. So what I'll do, I'll remove this thing. I'll put a div instead of h1. Here I have defined a div. Now if you see, the styling is getting updated, so it's taking h4. That's fine. Even if I do not specify h4, or if I use as a string, so if you see, this is the style in the by default styling has been applied. Now what I wanted, let it be main title with h4 as it is. I want some styling. So what I can do, I can use a class name, oops, card title. Okay, now if you see the card title which we have defined over here, so we'll keep it is a border bottom 1 pixel solid hash ddd 3 times. See, you can see this styling is getting affected over here. Let's give a little bit padding. So padding, I want 5 pixel to be top bottom and 15 pixel to be left and right. Okay, and same I would like to create a body which contain the whatever children which we have contained here. So similarly, what we can do here, we can wrap this thing with a class name, class card body, and let's move this thing in upper side and define here dot card body and give it a styling. Let's say padding 15 pixel each side. Okay, if you see, this started looking nice, you know, and let's give a little bit styling of it. You know, 5 pixel is enough. It looks good. And what I wanted to make it very clearly and very useful for us to define something, so that like if I hover, so that it should, you know, or it may contain some little bit radius each of the corner. Okay, so what I can do over here, border radius, so let's say 8 pixel of each corner. So now you can see the styling has been applied. And if I say box shadow 2 pixel of all third corner, hash DDD. So now you can see it's or you can say D2. This color I like most of the time. Or if you would like to spread it out or some incrementing value, so you can utilize the number according to your need. But I like this way and this looks perfect for me. Or next, what we can do, if someone hover over that card, what we will do over here, so we will create a class dot card on hover. If someone hover over that, so what I'll do, I'll do this thing only, and I'll put something, you know, minimal number of it. It's just like manipulating the values. Everything has to be the similar. If I hover over, you can see the effect. So the card is getting little bit effect based on whatever value we have provided on hover. Okay, now sometime why I have defined like this the card as a title, and we can pass over here because not as a string, because this can be anything. Like today I want here has to be the menu, and here has to be another options for like edit or something like that. We can do that. Okay, now this is taking a place. What we can do, we can, let's suppose I want there has to be few action option in the bottom of this. So what we can do, we can define one more property here, just like border after that. So what we can say, actions. Okay, what action is going to do after the body. Okay, first of all, let's put some check. If title does not exist, before going for action, if title does not exist, what we can do, there has to be some option. Likewise, if I, you know, if I hide from here title, now you can see this border is still there because the styling is there. The data is still not there, but the styling is there. So what we can do, we can instead of showing that directly, what we can apply, we can apply a cases over here. So we can say title, if it exists, so then we'll wrap this title, I mean move this part. Okay, now if you see, if this card is without title, so it will look like this. Okay, and if it is got the title, so it will look like this. Got it? So this is how you can manage. Similarly, your card may contain children. Absolutely, it is going to be as it is, but there might be some cases. So first thing, we were talking about the actions, what actions I am going to provide, and I will cover this bordered as well, so don't worry, just keep watching. Now the action is very interesting part. What action can be done? There can be one button edit, there can be a button of send or something, some call of action has to be there. So what action can be done? Let's define a div and let's get the action from the props. For example, I want provide two actions, so here I have created actions and I want this action has to be array, so that I can get values from user. So if I try to over here action, so you can see action is questionable, or you may provide anything, but it has to be array. Okay, so if I go action and here I can create an array. Okay, and in this array I'm going to create a variable. A variable can be, I mean, not a variable exactly, an a tag or button, so that we can use over here. Okay, button one, sorry, let's say edit or comma, oops, not exactly this part, edit and send. It's just a name. Other values you can provide as well according to your action, but you can see this action we have provided as a props, we are getting that, but we are not accepting over here. So what we can do, we can let's get this action. So what we will do, we will just actions. If I just save this, so you can see this action buttons I'm getting over here. Okay, it's not going to do anything, but it looks very ugly as well. So first of all, first we need to align them in the bottom, and it has to be in the center of something, or like align properly. What we can do, first of all, let's give it a class. The class name has to be like card action. It's related to card, of course. So actions, and let's use this class in our CSS file here, and it's a class, of course, so we'll put a dot over there. And then now I want, there is a border offside has to be there, like we have to provide a border top 1 pixel solid #add. Okay, now, and let's give it little bit padding. As I explained, 5 pixel top and 15 pixel left and right. Okay, now it's looking proper. Now if you see, these two buttons are there, but I want them to be aligned. One has to be in the starting point and next one has to be in the ending point. So what I can do, I can define a display, and let make it flex. First of all, they are already in a single line or maybe first row only, so they are not going to look something different. But if I say justify content, and I'll make it space between, so what will happen, the edit button will be stay there because it's the first thing. And if you would like to know more about display flex or justify content, or maybe flex thing in CSS, so you can comment me or just let me know, so that I will create a special video for that, so that you will be very easy to use flexbox, and it's a very useful thing, and I started using last 2 years. Is very useful for me. So you can recommend me whatever things you would like to watch for the upcoming tutorial or videos. So let's come to the point. We got the edit button in the left side and send in the right hand side. Now this card looks okay. Now somehow if this is not there, if this action is not there, let's comment it out. We have to look backward side as well, so that if thing does not exist, what will happen. So if I save this, this style is still there. So what we have done for the title, you remember, we have checked this thing. So what we can do, we can also do a condition over here, action and I'm sure this will not work, but let's give it a try and how it is going to look. If I save, nothing happened. Reason because action is, I have already provided a default array. Yes, it is there. So we have to check a length of it. Length, if it is greater than 0, then it has to shown. Otherwise, don't show. So as of now, action does not has any props over here, so that's why it is not showing. If I enable it, so it will be there. Okay, now let's suppose you need 3 buttons. Just copy paste. Let's make it save and delete. Okay, so you got the 3 buttons, so just keep as it is what we were doing previously. That looks nice. Okay, so these 2 conditions are met. Now somehow if you need to showcase an image, so of course you can put image over here, img tag and src. In the src you have to provide an url, then alt tag, card, image. Let's grab some image, copy image address. Okay, so what I will do here, I'll paste address. Okay, and just save this. Of course this is the ugliest one if you see, and what I will do, I will just give it a style of img because nothing is there. Height 100%, width 100%. Just give it a try. So yes, let's close this. So now you can see that image is there, and this image looks okay, it's perfect, it's not a problem. But somehow if you need a image which support your card, or initial property or initial props you may receive, you may have, so that you can use over here, so we can create that kind of a props. So you are free to create any kind of props you'd like to do, or your because what we are doing the custom, or we can say ground up rule we are creating, so that accordingly we can use this thing in future. So let's give it a try. So let's create a cover image. So cover, and what this cover is going to do, so let's create a img tag here. Let's copy this same image and paste over there instead of showing this location. So what I have done, I have removed from this body section of card and moved this image inside a cover object, or basically this cover object contain the image. And what you can do with this in your property and how can you handle that, so it's very simple. If I say cover, okay, and it's object, so of course you have to define as an object only. Now if it is an object, so instead of putting inside the body, what I would like to do is it has to be after the title, but it has to be look like similar to the full width of image. So what I'll do, if I check first of all if cover exists, so first of all the question mark will be the cover, and if exist, very good, let's accept that. And then what we have to do, we have to just create a div, and in this div only let's get that cover. Oops, cover, and save it. Now if you see, the design looks much better. Why? Reason is that we have defined this cover outside of this card body. That's why it's not taking the padding of this card body. If you see, there is a padding which is available inside this. Okay, so I want this has to be consistency, because I know I might require images to showcase, so that's why we have created this cover. Okay, so this is the card cover, so this can looks very, as usual, it's very perfectly fit and very precise. Now there might be another options, you may say, like there has to be some styling of it, so you can do if you provide a classes for that. If you write a styling, if you say, if you got the button, okay, now remove the border none, padding, give it 5 pixel top and bottom, and 10 pixel left and right, or maybe 12. So if you see, your button is looks really nice. Now get it border radius, let's say 8 pixel, something like this, and increase this thing and give it a color, background color. If I go for, let's say, blue violet, and give it a color of white, let's see, this looks very nice, but this color is not matching at all. So what we can do, we can switch between this hash f2 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 and give it 333 darker color. Yeah, looks fine, and give it 4 pixel border radius. Okay, so this is how you can customize your things, and this looks nice as well. So what we have done, let's quickly recap this, and it's nothing very difficult part, and you can easily create your own component and you can use them in your multiple places. Okay, and if you see, I have not used one property that is called, bordered. If you want, your card has to be border wise, otherwise if it does not require a border, so let's suppose if I remove the border, so it will look like this. The left hand side edge does not contain, the box shadow is there, but border is not there. So if you need border wise, so what you can do, you can write class dot card and dot border, the same name whatever you are providing, so you can use over here border, and the same styling you can just copy and paste. Okay, now this is not applied yet, but if I want, this also has to be a property, so there is a bordered. If I say, if it is bordered true, and we are not using it at all, so if it is bordered true, I provided, so what should I do, because it's a class. Okay, now what I have to do, I have to create an option to wrap this thing in tilde sign, and we have to append this with a logical operator, ternary operator, bordered question mark. If it is true, so then the class name has to be this bordered only, because we have defined that. Otherwise what I want, it has to be null. So if you see, or if you inspect that, so you will see there has to be two classes, one is card and one will be border, because here we have provided border. So by default it is containing border. So if I remove this, so if I remove, the border is gone. You can see the border is gone. If I enable this, so border is there. But if you want border hash to be there by default, what you can do, you can define this property initially, true, because you're writing the component. This is your component, and you can define whatever value you would like to do. Like if it has to be by default false or true is up to you. Okay, so if I save this, it will work as it is. If I even disable this, still it will work. But if you don't want this border, then you have to specify false. Otherwise, because you have created component, then that styling will apply. And just to showcase that border thing is perfectly working, so I'll make a different color. So I'll make a red, so that you should see, because I don't think so it's visible to you properly. Okay, and let's remove this. Now if you see, the logic wise it is working, because by default I have set true. And if I even remove or comment it out this line, still it work, unless until what we have to do, make it false, then it will disappear. Okay, so that's it guys, what we have done here. Let's quickly recap. I have created one component folder. If you see, there's a component folder, there's a card, inside card there is index.js. If I quickly open this file, this is the index.js, which we have created a function, and this function is nothing about here. I'm exporting it so that I can use other places. And then in the return of it, so what I'm doing, I have created a class and just applied a check. If it is bordered, then apply the border class, otherwise null. And if any styling is coming from there, let's suppose this card, the size I have provided here, so let's make it 350. So you can see it is got increased, so that I have already provided the styling control to the user, so that user or the next developer can easily rewrite or modify according to their need. So what that we have covered. Now there's another ternary check over here, the title. If title exists, then wrap it. If I remove this title, so what will happen, this will look like this. Now there's a problem with this. If it is like this wise, so what will happen, the radius is gone. So how to cover it up is very easy guys. You can check it out and yourself and try it. It will work. It's not very difficult. You can provide a logic. If does not exist, so give it a style of it, this cover, and otherwise don't do that. Okay, that's simple. And next, let's add this title, and then we have custom styling. Then we have created an action option. So these action option here there, and if you provide any classes on click, something like that, that will work as well. Then we have covered as well cover image. Yes, and now last in the list, here's the children. If nothing is there, so it will show nothing. If I remove everything, so only you will see the action and edit. So that's how we can do that. So if you see, there is a too much gap into this and the top and bottom, so you can of course modify your CSS, because I have given 15 pixel of each side and little bit padding. It's automatically taking the line height actually. So what you can do, you can apply the line height as well. So if I say normal, it will as it is. But if I say 15 pixel 10 pixel left and right, sorry, top and bottom, I'm 15 pixel left and right. So accordingly you can manage, you see. Or if you want somehow like this. Okay, so this is what we have done, is we have created a custom component with card component of using React and custom styling. You can use it multiple places. So what was the main aim of it? It was main aim of it to provide basic styling and giving a customization, how to provide the props and how to use them and how to customize them. So it's just not only the card way you can use many. You can create a table, custom table, you can create a card, you can create a number of widget or components so that you can use in multiple places in your application. So that's it, guys. Thank you for your time and hope you enjoy the video. Like it, subscribe it, and let me know what next video you required. So this was the requested video, so I have created. So thank you so much for your time.